What up, guys? Welcome to Base Damage. Hope y'all are having an awesome day, awesome month. We are, I think, about 3/4 of the way through the year, almost. Yeah, it's like August now. Man, it has been going by really quick. But no, I hope y'all are doing great. I realized the last podcast was a bit of a preaching session, me talking about my opinions on the RTFC saying. But anyway, if anyone wants to listen to that, by all means, go for it. But now today we're going a bit more of a update type podcast, but still, throwing my opinions around because I know people love my opinions at this point, right? Yeah, total sarcasm. So we are going to be discussing a couple sets that have come out and a couple sets that are been announced and whatnot, and as far as like confirmed for English or JP, the Batman Ninja set finally dropped, and that is going to be one of our main topics of discussion today because of something that happened with that. For anyone in the know, anyone who doesn't know, we'll get to that. Honestly, ReZero snuck up on me. Like, I thought that was later this month for some fucking reason. When you do truck driving, I will completely and totally admit, the fucking days and weeks start to blend together. I got my dates confused, and I thought this was coming out later this month. So I I do not have as much time as I thought I had for this set. Definitely going to be picking it up. One or two booster boxes, most definitely. But we don't get anything for the month of September. And then the very next thing we get in October, October 18th, is going to be Girls Band Party Volume 2. I am already expecting to get easily 2 or 3 boxes of this. I want to say maybe going to the upwards of like 4 boxes. I'm just going ham into Bang Dream anyway, but that's whatever. But this is definitely going to be an object of desire. But I have a whole 2 months to be able to mess around and try to get some stuff squared away for that. But this is my next project because I actually see some very fun combos in this for ReZero stuff. I did not look into this set that much, and I probably should have. So now I'm looking at effects going, oh shit, this exists? This is great. I kind of looked at some commons and uncommons when I was first doing some deck construction for Ram Red and Blue Maids. Trying to look for some better level 1 targets, and it just I found a couple that looked a little interesting, gonna be trying to mess around with, but I didn't really delve too much into the double rares and whatnot because I was kind of afraid to look at some stuff. But there's actually some interesting little double rares and whatnot. Hell, there's a level 3 Ram that's actually very cheap, like $2, and it's a double rare. I thought that was so cool, so I went ahead and ordered a couple. But it's still gonna. I only ordered 2, so I'm still gonna end up trying to see if I can pull some. But yeah, on top of that, confirmed dates for Bunny Girl Senpai. I thought this was so cool. I just pulled this up and saw this. I was like, yay. November 15th for the Trial Deck Plus and the Booster Pack. This is another highly anticipated set because I loved this anime. I absolutely enjoyed the hell out of it. Me and Moroku are already trying to come up with a couple deck theories and potential things that may work out. This is like if you thought idol sets were really big for the whole waifu concept, especially where Love Live has 4 or 5 sets, and we're going to get into some Love Live stuff too. I thought this was funny. That you could make me, Moroku, and people have made entire waifu decks from girls from Love Live. I know I've shown off the Hanukkah deck up here. Tim has not Tim. I'm sorry. Matt has the Umi deck. Joe Schmo has always been big into the Nozomi and Nico stuff. It's just really cool. So you thought that was big for waifu decks. I think Bunny Girl Senpai is going to also... You're going to be primarily making waifu decks from Bunny Girl Senpai. But I also see from the cards that they've given they're good. Like, they're really, really fucking awesome. Like, a lot of times for some waifu decks, you kind of got to finagle your way. Like, our buddy 8-Ball made a Asuna deck from Sword Art Online, and he's had to finagle some stuff because the consistency for that is still pretty damn good, don't get me wrong, but it's obviously not going to have anywhere near the consistency of, say, like a Last Shot Zekken deck. Something of that nature is just not going to be as consistent. And that's kind of the inherent issue with some waifu decks, even though I absolutely love making them because it's fun for proof of concept stuff as well. Also, sometimes I've had more fun running those than I have running a lot of other decks, like the Hanukkah deck from Love Live. I've had so much fun with that. I've just blown people's minds with that deck, and it's just been absolutely amazing. But more often than not, you can have consistency issues, and I can see that being usually an issue for that. But this, from what me and Moroku have looked at, seems to be pretty decent as far as like some of the stuff you can be made for this. And R.I.P. All the Sakurajima Mai fans. That's probably going to be the most expensive cards in the set, but so good. Anyway, so in the next thing that has not had a confirmed date, but I am absolutely eager with anticipation, I'm hoping we get this for December, is Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel. I've been waiting for this. Me and Moroku have been looking at so many of the cards in here. I am so fucking eager for this, you have no idea. So this is going to be one of my big things here. Just absolutely between. I'm going for blue because of Ilya Zerker. It's just so many good Ilya Zerker cards, and I'm going to be trying to pick up some Saber stuff personally because Moroku's going to be trying to grab a lot of the green stuff, which I realize is going to be probably more of the expensive stuff in here because of the Sakura Rider stuff is the kind of the primary focus of the movies. And we've totally expected that they're going to come out with more Heaven's Feel sets because I think this only covers the first movie. From what I've been looking card-wise, I think that's what this covers. It may cover a bit, like a portion of the second movie. I've mostly just been like looking at card effects and whatnot. I haven't really been checking to see, references for stuff and how far it goes. But there is a third movie, and there's going to be that'll be finishing it up. So I can totally see them making another set because there's a whole nother movie left, at least one more set, maybe two. That would be fuck it. I'm always up for more Fate. Just give me all the Fate, absolutely. So this will be very interesting to see, and so he's going Sakura Rider, and I'm fairly certain our buddy 8-Ball is going to be wanting all of the Ren stuff. So yeah, we'll be absolutely doing stuff for this because Ilya Zerker needs an upgrade. This is going to be interesting. That's on the English side. We haven't even touched the JP side of things. In the time that I was out, we had the Lyrical Nonoha Detonation booster pack. Alicization had come out. I think I mentioned this in like a previous podcast. I think for the month of June I may have looked at it. I forget. No. I don't. I think I skipped June by accident for a podcast. A Kantai collection came out while I was out. Both a Trial Deck Plus and a booster pack, which is actually really cool. And from the girls that I can see up here, I see Gotland. I actually don't know who that is, but I know she's a destroyer. I think it almost looks like Kagura. I could be wrong, but it's just from this picture up here. And I'm definitely going to be looking into this because I've seen some people. I haven't watched the videos just yet, but I have seen some posts where people have been discussing a couple other videos on YouTube where people have been discussing the new Kantai set. So at some point I want to go over this and then like watch those videos and hear their opinions on them. I just haven't really had the time, mostly because a lot of those the people who are doing those podcasts, they're actually really good at what they do for setting up like really interesting little like PowerPoint presentations for being able to see stuff. And I would like to be able to sit there and read this stuff as well, but most of my stuff recently I've been listening to stuff like podcasts and whatnot while I've been driving. So I really haven't had the time to actually look at the screen because I'm fucking driving. So anyway, so that's going to be a thing. The day that I'm recording this, I'm not even kidding, August 9th, I didn't even realize this was today, but a Love Live, 2 different Love Live sets. 2 full 100 card sets, one for Muse and one for Aquars, which I just saw the Aquars movie with Joe Schmo, and that Saint Snow song is fire. I'm very tempted to look into this stuff now to see if they got more Saint Snow stuff, because I would love to make a deck based around them now. Anyway, so the both of the girls got, both the sets of girls have new cards and stuff, and I haven't looked through any of this just yet. I'm recording this before I go through looking through this, because once again, like Kantai, this is probably going to be a set we're going to end up getting. I don't know when we're going to get Kantai, but just because of how quick Love Live stuff seems to come out, I can totally see this being something that comes out fairly quickly. As far as like over in America, I could totally see this being like first of the year. Like I could see this being easily February or March of next year. And so, especially since we already have like up to November, and I'm hoping for Heaven's Feel in December. It'd be really cool if that dropped around. I think that's around the next time the third movie comes out. I have to look it up. But definitely going to be looking over this, because we're more than likely going to get this. Bushi knows that their idol stuff will sell over here absolutely 100%, and I am no exception. Coming up later this month for JP, they're getting their version of Cardcaptor Sakura Clear Card. And I have already been seeing some of the cards that have been announced for it. And holy crap, there are some people going, wow, yeah, why couldn't we get this stuff? Like, the whole debacle, for anyone who doesn't know what happened with this set, I know people may have heard that there was some issues with this, and that was when this first came out earlier in the year for English. 2 weeks prior to this set coming out in English, they announced that JP was getting a set as well. And this was the first TCG exclusive quote-unquote set that they were planning for. And because of that, people who are used to only playing JP sets, who you're like, oh, cool, I want to be able to pick this set up, but I just have to pick up English now, that's whatever, put in their orders and pre-orders and stuff for the sets. I know people who literally buy sets by the case and whatnot. Like shout outs to my buddy Devlock. They buy, cases of stuff for various sets that they want and are, eager to pick up. Absolutely, to each their own. But this upset a lot of people when this set got announced for JP as well. Because the people who are normally only play JP stuff are like, oh, well, I fucking wasted my money. Oh, well, I guess I'll just keep, sticking with it. And then they're like, oh, it's going to be a different set altogether. And then tons of pre-orders got dropped. And it pissed off a lot of vendors. It pissed off a lot of players. And this so could have been avoided. They could have waited until after the set dropped, but no. Anyway, so the other issue with this is people were going to be like, oh, it's a fundamentally different set. What does that entail? What all are we going to get for this? And from what they've shown, I'm wanting more stuff out of this set than what we currently have. Like, I've been messing around with some of the Cardcaptor Sakura stuff, trying to do a couple little budget decks here and there and whatnot. It's not bad at all, and I ended up actually trading picking up a whole bunch of different stuff from my buddy Devlock, and it was like there's so many good cards from what I've seen in this set, as far as like sneak peek stuff that people have been the Bushi's been posting, and it's like, holy crap, we want this stuff. Why can't we have this stuff as well? So this entire thing has just been really, really crazy, and it's really, I still want to mess around with the set and everything, but it's definitely kind of one of those, for anyone else, it probably would make people just not want to play the Cardcaptor Sakura stuff, because it's like, oh, whatever. But anyway, and the next things that are announced for next month for JP, the next Sympho Gear packs should be fairly interesting, because I've known a couple people who are interested in Sympho Gear, which they're getting from what I understand with this, two different things. So AXZ, which I think is there's a mobile game I know for this for Symphogear. I've only really watched the anime though, so I don't know anything about the mobile game in any way, shape, or form. I just know it's really popular, and I know a couple of people who play it. There's also Symphogear XD Unlimited Extend, so I don't know what all that's going to entail, but a whole bunch of Symphogear for y'all fans out there. And I may not be that big into the game and whatnot, but from all I've watched of the anime, I fucking love the music. I mean, Nana Mizuki is amazing, and I love listening to a lot of her music anyway. So putting her in for a whole bunch of like the early on stuff, I think she still does a whole bunch of the stuff now, but like she lended a lot of music for that, as far as like doing a whole bunch of different songs for people and whatnot, and it just sounds amazing. She's just so damn good. Anyway, and the last thing we have announced for JP is the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind booster pack, which actually should be very interesting because the anime just wrapped up. It went 39 episodes, and it just finished. So I can totally see cards all the way from like beginning to end. Because when this first got announced and stuff was coming out, it was like still at the very beginning of the show. And there was a little bit of a hiatus thing for a couple episodes, but it wasn't like anything major. It was just like, off like a week or two, and then we're continuing. But I can understand doing that for, fucking 39 episodes. I can understand if there's like a hiccup or something. That's whatever. That may have just been, in the release schedule that I saw. But, no, this, I very much enjoyed the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure series, and now I'm waiting for part 6. I definitely want to check that out when it comes out and see how that looks, because David Production has been doing an amazing job at a lot of the anime for it. So I'm very, very eager to see where that goes and how well it's received. So anyway, so that's it for JP updates. Definitely at some point going to be going over a lot of the Love Live stuff. Going to see if I can get Joe Schmo in on that, and we go over a whole bunch of this stuff, because gotta love the idols. Some Kantai stuff. Absolutely going to be trying to go over that in a little bit here. Also, the fact that they got like a Trial Deck Plus, I thought that was really cool. So definitely interested to see that. Expect to see potentially box openings for like ReZero, more for Bang Dream with like Girls Band Party and whatnot. Even some Review Starlight stuff. I think I have one recorded and I just haven't posted it yet. So gonna be checking that out. Thank y'all very much for tuning in to the updates here. So now on to the big thing. The thing that everybody has been discussing. So one of the big things that I point out to people, or have pointed out to people for the longest time with Weiss Schwarz, is I've kind of bragged in the sense of, Weiss doesn't have a ban list for English. And people are like, what? That's so insane. Because all the people I tell this to are people who play like Yu-Gi-Oh!, MTG, and even, people who play Force of Will back when that was still a big thing. And they're like, what the fuck? How come you don't have a ban list? And I explained the process where if it was something that was banned in JP, on Japan land side, or if it was something that was limited or whatever, either we didn't get it, RIP, a swing event, or they changed the effects when it came over. Also, shout-outs to the Kasumi promo we're never getting, probably. But, like, effects we get errated as well. RIP, the one Marika. So that's something that's just happened so much over the years. And like early on, it was obvious where like with Nizukoi, with Kantai, they changed up some stuff. Or like I said, we just didn't get the cards at all from the swing event from Haruhi, the Kasumi promo from Bang Dream, and stuff like that. We just never got, or shit got changed. But I was comfortable with this. I was fine with this And it meant a lot to me to not have a ban list, because that was something that every player, even if I just go back to like my Yu-Gi-Oh days, like MTG didn't have that big of an issue with the ban list, like in my personal opinion, when I was playing. This is like back in the days of, for anyone who is interested in MTG, the Alara block and the Zendikar block was where I got fucking heavy into MTG. So this is like fucking old. This is like 2000, I think 2008, 2009, as far as like way back when. And so we're literally looking at like 10 years ago. So it may have changed from back then, but at least when I was playing, when I heard about the ban list for like MTG stuff, it was because there was shit that was OP as fuck. And this is for standard. This is for set rotation stuff. Like after the next big block comes out, the last block in like within like 3 blocks of each other got cycled out, and you couldn't use cards from that anymore. But then there were reprints of stuff, so it usually didn't matter for that. Because of how the set rotation occurred and the cycling of said sets occurred, there wasn't that big of a ban list or really that big of a need for a ban list. But I remember like pulling there was a particular card that I pulled that could is enchantment that basically lets you summon a whole bunch of tokens. And I found out that got banned for tournament play because of just how OP it was. And I'm like, no, that's fair, because this is a very OP card. But then once, the set rotated out, it didn't fucking matter anymore. So a lot of that's a little bit more understanding. But because of set rotation, ban lists are not that prevalent for MTG. However, for stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh, you still have that's one of the biggest issues. As far as like, especially for like on the market for Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, because prices for Yu-Gi-Oh shit is insane. Like I thought it was bad when I was like coming along with like fucking Ghost Rare Honest sitting at like $80 or some shit, and now you get like your tip, and that's just because those were cards that could be used for particular decks. Now it's like, oh, this one particular staple of a card that can go in every fucking deck is over $100. Anyway, so whereas every couple months you had to worry about a ban list, I'm getting to the point here, but it was so nerve-wracking because you had people bitching and complaining about particular cards. You had people trying to sell off cards, trying to be like, oh, I don't know if this card is going to be hit on the ban list or not, because it is being kind of played a lot. There's a chance it's going to get hit. But Konami was never one to always hit every single card that was a problem. They would let some cards keep going for a couple ban lists, and so there was always that issue. And then like as far as when they posted their updates changed over the years. Used to it was like every 6 months. Then they were like, oh, it's going to be every 4 months. And then it was, oh, it's just going to be when we fucking feel like it. Like we're not going to be doing these updates every fucking 4 months because y'all are bitches. That's just me paraphrasing. But they at some point they kind of just said, it's going to be when we feel like it. That is the truth. So that had always been for some players, it was a godsend because of effects and cards and just really OP combos that just ruined a game, or just were just seen way too fucking much. And people are like, this is OP. Please nerf. Or, if you were in the market for Yu-Gi-Oh! Because a lot of people I literally knew people who paid their rent by buying and selling Yu-Gi-Oh cards and MTG cards and all sorts of stuff. And that's how, hell, for a while, I sold cards. For a good couple months, I sold cards to pay for my expenses and my bills and stuff. And it worked. I was able to do that for a good while, but then I realized, I need a job. So, absolutely, I've been there. I've done that. And during those months, I was like, okay, is this shit going to get banned? Is this stuff going to get affected in any way, shape, or form for a lot of different card games? And so it's a thing where a ban list for the longest time in Weiss, or no ban list for the longest time in Weiss, I loved so much because prices stayed consistent. Prices never really fluctuated, and I don't think we're going to have much of an issue for like SPs and stuff. That's always going to be fucking expensive cards. But it's just any company like that is not going to want someone to profit off of their game. So they, even for Konami, they purposely also hit cards that hit a price spike, as far as like, oh, this is selling a whole bunch. We're either going to hit it on the list or we're going to reprint it so that it's not as expensive anymore and people are buying our product, not people buying our product from other people. Anyway, so now we have a ban list for Weiss. I realize I just kind of rambled on for a bit there, but that is the point now. But it is a very small list, whereas if you look at the Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban list, it's fucking huge. But one of the big things for the Weiss ban list in JP was the fact of they didn't just have... They had cards that were like, you can't run this at all. Or they had cards that you can only run one copy of this. Or something of that nature. They also have, you can pick one of 2 cards. Or one of 3 cards. Like, for Kantai, there's like 3 cards you can pick from. And you can run a play set of that card. But you can't run any copies of the other 2 cards if you pick any one of them. So that was kind of cool. So why did this get a ban list? And what is the ban list, you ask, Kool-Aid? Well, I'll get to that. This ban list happened because of a fucking gorilla. This ban list happened because of Batman Ninja. Oh boy, here we go. So everybody who plays Weiss knows that there's some cards that can change into higher level cards. There's a Gorilla Grodd in here that can summon a level 1 Batman. That was its intent and purpose, was to summon a level 1 Batman. So, the problem being is where Bushi fucked up and named another card, the same name as that level 1. The card's called Batman Infiltration. There is a level 1 version of this name, and there's a level 3. The level 3 was in a fucking demo deck. A demo deck that was literally handed out at events. Because they're like, oh, for new players to learn how to play. For new players to learn how to play. Because now you're getting like the fucking... DC fans who are like, oh, Batman is in Weiss Schwarz? Fuck yes, I'm going to play. Let me beat up all your idols with, batarangs and the Batmobile. I'm going to run over your waifus and shit. I literally had people, like, saying this. I thought this was fucking hilarious. So, that happened, and people found out because the name is exactly the same. The Gorilla Grodd can summon the level 3. If you meet its condition, which is if the Gorilla Grodd gets attacked. If the Gorilla Grodd gets frontal attacked, pay like a stock and bounce the Gorilla Grodd back to your hand and summon Batman Infiltration, air quotes, if you can't see them because I'm making this, like, you can't see me right now. To summon Batman Infiltration from your hand, and that counted for the level 1 or the level 3. Naturally, people flipped their fucking shit. Now, the 2 Batman do have different codes. They have different codes for their effects. It actually is listed up under here, where it says, under this ban list restriction, you can pick one of 2 cards. You can either run the demo deck level 3, or you can run the Gorilla Grodd. You can't run both. You can only run one or the other. However, because of the code, it says, additional note, booster pack version of Batman Infiltration with this card number, and it shows the card number for the level 1, is not affected by this rule. And I'm going to get to my big point here at the very end of this, but I'm just trying to fill in and trying to, let you know what's going on here. So you can either run the Gorilla or the level 3. You can't run both. You can only pick one, but you can still run 4 copies of the level 1. No problem. So you can still do the combo as it's intended. However, there's an issues. There's an issues. There are issues with doing this. Not for Batman Ninja, not for... I don't want to say for Weiss as a whole. I feel that the biggest fuck up is not the fact that they made a ban list, but it's the fact that they made a ban list. But what are you talking about, Kool-Aid? You just said the same thing twice. I know what I said. So, if they want to make a ban list for Weiss Schwarz, that's their prerogative. But the fact that they did is going to fuck them up. This is the point I'm getting to. I'm not playing Batman Ninja. I have no problem with this, and I was already trying to come up. There was already countermeasures you could do. There's already stuff people were already teching for various decks that was going to get around this to begin with. So it's kind of whatever. It just really depended if you were running the deck or if you wanted to run these outs, or it's a whole bunch of different stuff that was kind of factors for this. But the fact that this occurred is going to raise up a whole nother issue in my head. And that is me going back to, I used to remember watching the Facebook post and whatnot, where Bushi would go, "Oh look, we're announcing this new set. Oh look, this new set is on sale. Oh look, these new cards that we're demoing because this set's coming out later this month." And then you would go to the comment section. Then you would, and this happened because of a whole bunch of people, obviously, complaining and whatnot about this combo being too OP. There was even theories of people just saying, "Oh, you ain't even got to have the level 3. Just run the Gorilla Grodd because then you're fucking with your opponent's head." And that's the damn truth, because then you got to sit there and go, well, do they have the level 3 or do they have the level 1? Which can I deal with better? Do they even have it to begin with? And it just turns into this, this thing. It just turned into this huge, horrendous thing that instead of just saying, oh, we're just going to nix this problem for in the future by saying demo deck cards can't ever be used. That, to me, in my opinion, was the simplest solution. Whereas now, like I said, like I was leading into before, and I tangented off, I would watch comment sections and people, some people would oh, cool, that's really nice, hey, are we ever getting this set, da-da-da-da-da. And then it would just devolve into, oh, when are we getting this set for Weiss? Or when are we getting this set? When are we getting, could we please bring over Monogatari Season 2? Just as an example, that was honestly one of the biggest ones I ever saw posted. Was, then they would post something else. And then you'd see 50 fucking comments of Monogatari Season 2 win, Monogatari Season 2 win, repeat process 50 more times. I'm not kidding. And I actually felt bad, because they got shit-talked for a lot of stuff, and Bushi fucks up on a lot of stuff. This being one, the fact that someone out there didn't fact check and go, oh, let's see how easy it would, would it have been to just change the name of this level 3, but we're gonna somehow magically name it the exact same card. Someone fucked up in the naming process, and honestly, if they just changed the name, it'd be whatever. But whatever. They can't just, errata a demo card, right? They can't just say, oh, demo cards can't be allowed or can't be used in a tournament. Now they're going to get flooded with comments, posts, just emails and everything going, hey, this card's too OP. Can you please ban this as well? Or, hey, this combo is too OP. Could you please put this as a, pick one of this here with the Gorilla Grodd Batman infiltration thing. Hey, this, this ban list is a little old. Could you update it, please? Could you please add some more stuff? And I feel that that's the biggest thing, because that was always, the worry of what's going to get added. But now people are going to be constantly pestering, because I've always heard that issue of people bitching and complaining about particular sets being just too OP, or particular combos being, too strong. Like, obviously, as much as I've talked about it over the years, and pardon me 1 second, before I continue, I'm going to get a drink real quick because I've been talking a whole bunch. Oh, that's good. Okay. So, like where I've said over the years of how broken like the level 1 Aaron combo is. I have never said that it needs to be banned, as far as I can remember. If someone remembers otherwise and can fact check me on a podcast where I'm like, oh, this should be banned, by all means, point it out to me. I'll eat my crow, whatever. So, I've never thought that like the Aaron combo needed to be banned or whatever, or like, oh, you can only run this Aaron or you can run mobility gear, stuff of that nature, whatever. It doesn't need to come down to that, and I've never felt that it ever needed to come down to that, because I liked, as much as I complained about, oh, can this deck beat Aaron combo, or oh, this combo loses out to Aaron, Aaron deck. For anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, there's a level 1 Aaron in Attack on Titan as a climax combo that you play the climax. When this level 1 reverses the battle opponent, you can add back a omnidirectional mobility gear event from your waiting room to your hand, and then he gets an effect until the end phase of your opponent's next turn, where if he gets frontal attacked, he bounces back to the hand. So it denies your opponent on reverse combos. It opens up a slot so that you can immediately use also the omnidirectional mobility gear that you just grabbed. So even if you don't like throw down 3 of those level 1 Aarons, you more than likely can still deny, like even with like 1 or 2, you can deny your opponent so much advantage at level 1, where if they even attempt to expend like any amount of hand for their combos to try to get, to try to plus in any way, shape, or form, it just didn't work. It shut down those combos. One of the biggest ones I remember was like from Kantai with Shimakaze. One of the, most well-known climax combos of when I was first getting into Weiss. That combo being, when the battle opponent became reversed, if you had this climax in the climax area, search your deck for a Fleet Girl. And there's still a lot of cards like that. There's still a lot of effects and combos like that being printed, and that's perfectly fine. But in the quote-unquote meta, if you see the air quotes again once more, in the meta, you're going to see AOT, and it's going to deny those combos, and you're not going to be able to play. You're not going to be able to win, because you're going to expend hand and then go, oh, fuck, they're just going to bounce back to hand because I can't reverse them. So, I can't reverse them because they're just going to bounce back to hand. Reverse what I said. You know what I meant, I hope. Anyway. So, I went on that tangent, but it's because of, like, there's always going to be OP effects. And now, every player in the game has an excuse to just flood, like, Bushiroad comment sections and emails with, oh, this is too broken, please put it on the ban list, or this combo is too OP. When is there going to be an update? Update please, repeat process 50 more times in that order. And that's what's going to happen. And I feel that if the people constantly bugging, asking when a set was going to come out didn't bug them enough, I feel this is going to be a bigger nail in the coffin. I don't think this is going to ruin Weiss, but it's obviously going to make Bushiroad just kind of look at English and go, fuck. See, here's the thing. This is because English is its own entity. English players are crazy. I don't know if this issue really came up for Japanese players, but I think it's because the Japanese players have a different mindset. And, anyone over here who plays by JP rules just kind of accepts it. They know they really can't control stuff that happens over in Japan land, so they just kind of rolled with it. But people over there who do play like the meta and whatnot in JP in Japanland are gonna. I don't know if they might still do the same thing. I'm not gonna say that it doesn't happen. I just can't really see it happening as frequently. A, because it's a different kind of mindset, it's a different kind of play style, and B, they're used to it. They've had it for a long time, probably since year one. I want to say day one, because I don't think they're going to have a ban list straight out like day one, obviously. But like probably since like the first year of Weiss over in, or maybe first year or two over in JP, they're used to it. They've had it, but we haven't had it. We got people over here who are spoiled little shits. And I don't think it's going to ruin Bushiroad's interest in like English, in the English side, but it's going to be fucking annoying. You're going to see a lot of, even for people like me who do sell cards as well, this is going to be a little bit of an annoying thing, because you got to wonder if they do start updating, regularly, like every 6 months to 4 months, whatever. I could even see it being like a once a year thing. If it's a once a year thing, it'd be like whatever. But they're gonna do something for it, and I feel that this shot them in the foot worse than just stating, oh, just demo deck cards can't be used. That would have been the simplest solution to this. Now, I could be wrong. Everything that I'm saying could be completely invalid, because maybe Bushi has an idea. Maybe I should give them the benefit of the doubt. No, I don't even want to do that. Like, I could be wrong, but it's whatever. I'm still going to play. I'm still going to probably be running the decks that are never going to get hit by this. Who knows? This could be the only hit we get for the next, 3 years. I don't even know. But the fact that you're constantly going to have people, wondering... I mean, for a budget player, this might work out a little bit better, because then they can just go, oh, if people are worried about particular cards getting hit, prices might go down. And I could just snatch it up, and that's what I would do. Or if something did get hit and prices went down in Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever, I would pick up those banned cards the next day. And then I would just have them in case they ever came off. I need to check and see how frequently JP updates their ban list. But just for a personal note there. The other thing being, is this going to affect... This is something I don't know. This is something obviously anything I've stated in here is just kind of a possibility. But I guess the first part of that was just my opinion. The real part of this, though, is how is this going to affect new sets coming forward? Where, oh, there's this really awesome combo. Does this mean that Bushi won't have to change effects? Does this mean, oh, if there's a card that's banned over in JP, is it just going to be banned the moment that it comes over here? Let's say that, a new set comes out and it's super fucking broken. And it's just really, really powerful. Does that mean that we're going to get sets as they are? No changes, not counting whatever 50 erratas they have to do per pack. Is that going to be a big thing with affecting sets going forward? My opinion before was, now they're just going to get bitched at a whole bunch more. But the truth of the matter is, this should, in theory, affect how we receive sets moving forward, both new and old. Because now, say, if something comes off the JP ban list, does that mean we'll eventually get it? Like an older set, if all the Nizemono stuff, or Nizemonogatari or Bakemonogatari stuff comes off, or I feel that anything we already have is going to stay the way it is. The one Marika restrictions is going to stay the way it is. They're not going to reprint Haruhi just so that we can get the swing set. I can't see that happening. They're not going to go out of their way for printing an entire set all over again that I don't really think sold very well to begin with. because we didn't get the swing set. Just for it to be like, oh, cool, here's the entire set printed again. Oh, by the way, this event's banned, you know? I can't see that happening. But for new stuff, it's going to be a thing. I don't think this means that they'll ever have to change effects again. So I guess that's a positive thing. But they might not have to change the effects because then they can just have the excuse of we could just put it on the ban list or we could just put it on the pick one of. That's cool. That's whatever. I'm definitely... Before, where I didn't really eyeball the JP ban list as much, I'm going to be eyeballing that a bit more now and try to look at that, maybe do some theorizing for stuff. It's kind of whatever. But I realize we're also getting a little bit on time here. And I've been bitching at a microphone for a bit here. So to wrap up final thoughts, Bushi could have just put the demo deck thing, be done with it. They could have... I feel that there's probably other stuff they could have done other than a ban list. It's whatever. I'm not trying to say this is the end of the world. I'm probably over exaggerating all of this way too much. But it's because it could have been solved so easily. I mean, really, just how difficult would it be to put card usage restrictions? You cannot use demo decks in competitive tournaments. Well, that would have saved so much headache. And it would have eliminated this issue with Batman altogether. Maybe they have some like grandiose idea that could, you know, affect both JP and English. That'd be really cool. I don't know, but whatever. So with that, I'll be signing off for now. We're going to be trying to look a bit more into, obviously, like predictions for some sets and whatnot. Like, hey, this has been doing really well in JP. Is there any chance that it could be hit when it comes over here type thing? There's a whole bunch of stuff to look into. There's a whole bunch of older sets to look into at this point. Honestly, I also feel that a bunch of older sets are not going to be anywhere near as relevant with the newer stuff and the newer metas. The other thing also being player mindsets and player styles as far as how they play and how the meta plays over here is very different from how I've seen a lot of decks play over there. But not by a large margin, but there are differences. Anyway, with that, I'm going to be signing off for now. I realize I've been talking for a good bit here. A big thank you to anyone who has been following this far. Please subscribe if you want. If not, hey, just thanks for stopping by to hear me rant about, you know, my old days at Yu-Gi-Oh! And, you know, MTG, and hear me bitch about a gorilla. So, anyway, with that, we'll be signing off for now. Once again, thank you all very much for stopping by. I got a couple other videos in the works. This is probably going to be uploaded pretty fucking soon. And with that, we will see y'all on the flip side. Peace out for now.